Hey guys, coming to you a little bit different here at the beginning. We're about to get into the VIP experience at Universal Orlando. But I just wanted to let you guys know before we get into this that there's some things that I could not film. So that's why the video portion may seem a little short, and we got as much as we can. But after this is over, I will come on and talk to you guys about some of the things that we saw backstage. Not in too much detail because I don't want to get in trouble with Universal. Anyway, come on, enjoy me. Hey guys, today we are here at Universal Orlando Resort, and today we are doing a VIP tour. So we're gonna head into the park, do this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So come on and join us. We're going to Cafe La Bamba now, and they're gonna serve us breakfast. This is gonna be awesome. This is nice. Look at that. All right. Let's get seated. So they've seated us and they're going to take our drink order. Then we're going to go back up to the front and get some food. Sounds really good. So here is the breakfast spread that they have here. Biscuit, egg, leek mushrooms, warm apple oatmeal, roasted potatoes, eggs, bacon, pancakes. And they have some oatmeal here too, with some vegetable with fruit, which looks really good. And they have some muffins here too. This looks amazing. We're gonna try it all. Might as well. And here is what I am dealing with. I got something for me and Angie on our plate here. With some bacon, muffin, strawberries, the croissant, and then of course some syrup here. It's pretty good. I tried the bacon, which is decent, and this muffin, which is actually really good. It's a chocolate muffin. It's really good. All right, so breakfast was really, really good. Very filling. Now we are heading to Islands of Adventure. We're gonna have fun going over there. We're gonna take the Hogwarts Express. It's gonna be so much fun. So we're gonna head over there, do that first, and then we're gonna ride some stuff, have lunch, then we're gonna do some Mardi Gras stuff. So you guys are gonna get 2 videos out of this. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, made it over to King's Cross. We're gonna go inside now. Let's see. We can't film in certain areas, so I will have to put you guys away.
I hear one word and tell you what movie it is.
Yes, I know.
And what part it is. It's crazy.
That's how it is with tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have
Going in here. Thank you so much. C? Oh, okay. C. Sorry. I'm getting confused.
And you know when it comes complete stuff like that, broke my ribs. And then I
on his first day.
First day of 5 days being here.
All right, we have made it to Hogsmeade. Angie, you having fun?
We all enjoyed the train, by the way.
Yes, it was amazing.
Here, let me go.
Okay, so now we've made it off of the Hogwarts Express, and we're about to do Hagrid's. They're gonna walk us through there. Now, we can't really show you everything, but there are some things that we can show you, some things they've taken us behind the scenes, and we'll kind of talk about that. Like they took us backstage for the Hogwarts Express. That was really cool to see that backstage. So it's pretty awesome. It's going to be really cool as we continue on. So we're going to do this part, and then we're going to move on. It's just a really cool experience. I also should mention that they do allow for bathroom breaks. That's kind of what we're doing right now. Just waiting on everyone to get done with the restroom. Then we're going to move on to Hagrid's. All right, so we finished with Hagrid's. Now we are going over to Kong Skull Island. It's going to be cool. See how fast we get on there. And there, everyone was in and out in like 8 minutes. Not bad at all. But we have to go through Jurassic Park first. Say with me, Ange. What do they got in there? King Kong? Did you completely forget?
No.
No? You just didn't want to say it. So we will not be doing River Adventure today because it is closed for refurbishment, but that's okay. I really wish we could ride it today, but that's all right. All right, on to Kong. And like normal, we're going through the exit. We can't film back here, but just letting you guys know, Kong Skull Island. We're going through the exit.
So everyone's kind of ready and prepared, and if anybody does not want to go, that's totally okay. This is a great area to wait. This is Skull Island, Reign of Kong. You guys are actually going back in time to the year 1931 to do a little exploring. Before we do that though, you guys are going to be placed on a very large safari truck. And when I say very large, this thing is 40 feet long, 13 feet tall, and 10 feet wide. So this is a massive capacity vehicle. You're going to be moving slowly forward. Top speed here is 7 miles per hour. In theory, people can jog faster than this. I won't, but we could. Don't worry about it. We're good.
We're all used to it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great. Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah. So we have 887 skulls on this island, by the way. If anyone's wanting to sacrifice,
Ooh.
it would be nice to have an even number straight across.
I'll sacrifice myself.
But
And as always, we cannot film on the ride, but we're about to hit Kong. Literally, we just walked right on and we're waiting on the vehicle to show up. It's amazing.
Remember, just about everything on this island wants to kill you. The locals ain't none too friendly in these parts. Looks like things are heating up.
Here we go. All right, putting you guys away. We'll see you on the other side.
Nobody move. Don't even breathe.
And now they have brought us to Velocicoaster. Wait time is 60 minutes. Let's see how long it really takes. I'm thinking like 2 minutes. All right, I'm gonna have to sit out on this one, but they're gonna take us through the exit there of Velocicoaster, which is amazing. So we're gonna step over here. So something that our tour guide confirmed for me, the two raptors up here are a nod to the dueling dragons, which used to sit over here where Hagrid's is now. But yeah, this is a nod for sure. We used to say that it is, but a team member confirmed today that it is.
Make sure that we brought Dr. Seuss to life. That meant representing different characters, including the Zaxes. Now, the Zaxes are very stubborn creatures. They're told if someone gets in your way, you stand there. They'll go around you. You're more important than them. Well, the North-going Zax and the South-going Zax met on the prairie of Prax, and they did not move. And they stood there so long, an entire civilization grew up around them. So when we broke ground for Islands of Adventure, we literally cut into the dirt, put the statue in, and built the entire theme park around them. That was really sweet. We really did want to represent Dr. Seuss's imagination and creativity, so you're not going to see a lot of straight lines and right angles. I mean, we had to have fun. But we got very creative with our architecture, but also with our plants. You guys look and see some of our palm trees, how they're all twisted and turned. Yeah. Did we do that on purpose? Yeah, we did, yeah, because guess what? We went down to South Florida. When Hurricane Andrew had hit South Florida, devastated the community. There was a lot of young palm trees. They were all twisted and turned from the hurricane. We got them and let them grow in the direction of the hurricane.
All right, we made a quick stop here in Seuss Landing. We're about to head over to Spider-Man. Then I believe we're gonna head over to Universal. She was telling us about how these trees were sent from South Florida from a hurricane. And that's why they're all kind of curved like that. It's awesome. All right, now about to head on to Spider-Man. We're gonna get to go through the back way here. I'm gonna have to put you away. I could talk about what I saw afterwards, but this is right next to Dr. Doom's Fearfall. And I have some information. I would talk to one of our VRP tour guides that I want to share with you, but I have to put this away when we go back here.
With Spider-Man nearby, trouble can't be far away. You know what trouble means. Headlines, national coverage, so don't screw this up. My life and yours. Be careful. Thanks, James. That's Spider-Man. Red leotard.
Dr. Octopus, everything's going as planned.
What's going on?
What was that? Intruder! You think you're getting out of here? You're in for it.
Things are starting to.
So, we just got done doing something incredibly amazing. I could not film it. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to go sit somewhere and we're going to talk about it. We're like halfway through the tour and we're breaking for lunch. So we're going to grab something to eat and then head back on the tour for a little while. This has been amazing. I have really, really enjoyed this. So yeah, let's go talk about this.
In this lobby before, if you've done this attraction
Continuing our
before,
tour,
which I'm
Jimmy
guessing most of you
Fallon.
have, we'll kind of hang over to the side so that anybody that's, there we go. But we wanted to kind of point out a few of the things that I think are particularly cool within this, within this lobby. So first things first, we're entering a replica of 30 Rockefeller Center, right? Where they filmed The Tonight Show. When we set out to do this attraction, one of the things that was very important to Universal was all the detail. We're big about detail. So we wanted to replicate the building as best we could. Now, I legitimately just came back from New York. I visited 30 Rock while I was there. I can promise you those details are spot on. Everything down from the floor that you guys are stepping on, we went to the same manufacturers for all of our flooring that they used in 30 Rockefeller Center. For our wall paneling, for every detail, all of that got completely sourced from the right locations so that it could, that's it. So we're already kind of setting up for you guys what we're about to see. The last thing down here.
So, Jimmy's, and if you went to Twister Ride It Out, there was a board of movies playing.
And we are at the top here of Fallon, looking down.
It was Murder, She Wrote, where they showed you how they did full
This is an area where they can actually, some of the executives can watch and look over there.
But the girl who did
Look
the
at all
show, she
that.
had the worst New York accent ever. We like to
It's
amplify our
interesting.
accents here. But this was
It's pretty
interesting
cool.
because if you look
With
here,
the
the next
new
facility, the
Minions
non-biological extraterrestrial
cafe is
species
gonna
treaty.
go.
It's gonna be a long time to get it that fast. It's a very tall building. Well, it is in the middle of the theme.
All right, we made it out here by Fallon. Outside, look how high up we are. This is awesome. So cool. That is awesome. So cool to see it from up here. It's so cool, and they're getting ready for Patti LaBelle tonight. She's gonna be playing. Over here, I'm sure she's in the backstage area, just chilling. But this is incredible up here. It's so cool. This is one of the few backstage areas that we could film. You want to call it that, but it's awesome. So cool, man. I love that. All right, let's continue. Okay, guys, so it's a couple of days later, and I finally got a chance to sit down and kind of talk about our experience with the VIP experience. And I have to say that we had a great time. It was wonderful. Our tour guides, Kendra, Kelly, and Deanna, were super knowledgeable, super sweet, great people. If you ever do the VIP experience, you should make sure you ask for them because they're amazing. Also, they're trainers too, so they train everyone else that goes out, so like they know their stuff. A couple of things that I wanted to cover. Some things we couldn't film and some things we just were moving so fast that I didn't have a chance to really talk about what was going on. So the overall experience itself does provide breakfast. Now, I do believe at certain times they offer lunch too. We did not get lunch on our tour. Angie and I had to cut out early from the tour anyway because we were filming our Mardi Gras video on the same day. But overall, the breakfast was amazing. I thought it was great. Really, really good stuff. And just something basic for everybody, like the oatmeal. Like if I had more time and I wasn't going to be walking around the theme parks and riding a bunch of rides, I probably would have eaten some of the oatmeal too. And then the way that they kind of treated us, you know, they gave us like 4 bottles of water that we could take with us throughout the day. And I thought that was awesome, you know, just offering, you know, little things here and there. Now, as far as the VIP badge that they give you at the beginning of your day, it also comes with unlimited express pass to both parks throughout the day. Now, an average time of this VIP tour lasting is still about 5 o'clock. We started at 9, and then the rest of our group ended at around 4 or 5 that day. So with that being said, you can utilize this as long as the park is open. Like that day it was open till 9. You can go on as many rides as you want to, as many times as you want to. So that's another huge benefit of having the VIP tour. That's just like a small thing because when you're on this tour, like I said, it's going to take a majority of your time, but you can still get like 3 or 4 hours that you can actually use this, which I think is awesome. Okay, so I know what you're asking me. You're saying, John, just get to it. Let's talk about how much the VIP experience costs. Well, it really depends on what day you go and really what time slot you go. So looking at the Universal website, it's around $250 to $500 per person, depending on the day that you choose. Now remember, once you do this, you also have to have a valid park ticket. So with that being said, you could end up spending close to $1,000 to do this VIP experience. Now with us being pass holders, we don't have to worry about that. And if you're a pass holder, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're coming down for your vacation and you're trying to figure out what can we do, just FYI, you have to have that park ticket and then the VIP experience on top of that, which can get pretty expensive. And now I'm just going to kind of level with you. We're going to stop talking business for a little bit and just kind of tell you what we saw, some of the things that we loved about the experience, and some really cool perks that we got. So we started out our breakfast at Cafe La Bamba in Universal, and then first of all they were like, you know, finish your breakfast and then we're going to take you to Islands of Adventure. Now this was because it was requested for certain rides to take to Islands of Adventure, so you can always request to start on the Universal Studios side, but we chose the Islands of Adventure side. So with that being said, they took us over to Islands of Adventure through the Hogwarts Express. Now the cool thing about this was, and I did not show it in film, but we got to go backstage and take the stairs up to Hogwarts Express. And you're like, wait a second, there are stairs already in the Hogwarts Express. But yes, we got to go through the secret entrance up some stairs, and we could see the back side of the facades of Diagon Alley, which no one else really gets to see. There was a lot of this that happened throughout our tour, a lot of backstage things that we could not film, a lot of walking through the backstage areas to get onto the rides that made it a lot faster. But I thought that was really cool. That was one of my things. Like, I didn't know how I was going to like the VIP tour, and as soon as it started, it was the first thing they did for us. I was like, I'm on board for this. Also, once we got over to Islands of Adventure, they took us over. The first thing that we did was go to Hagrid's. And now, while a lot of us did ride and some of us didn't ride, they took us through the back entrance, through the exit, you can say, onto the ride. And it was no longer than 10 minutes, which was just really cool. Literally, I think it was 5 minutes that we waited, and that was it. After that, they started taking us through the exits, of course, of every attraction that we would go on. Our guides, Kendra mainly, because she has a lot of knowledge, and Kelly as well, but Kendra would give us little bits and pieces of the lands that we were at, the history of where we were at. In particular, Hogsmeade, which used to be part of the Lost Continent, and it used to have the dueling dragons where Hagrid sits now. And so I reached out to her and asked her a couple of questions about how the land used to look, because it's been quite a few years since I had been back after the change. So I was trying to just remember what exactly that was, and she just explained to me, like, okay, this was sitting here, this was sitting here, and very knowledgeable and very cool the way that they would do things. And after that, they took us over to Kong, and while Kong is one of my favorite attractions, I've ridden it so many times, I learned some information on Kong that was really cool, and I think I might have gotten some of it in the footage that you've already seen. But what was really cool is that 98% of those rocks that you see in the queue and on the outside were hand carved by someone at Universal Creative. Also, Kong, the animatronic, stands at 27 feet tall. That thing is huge. So you can, let me just preface it by this, but you can choose your tour whether you want the more detail or whether you don't want detail. And for our tour, we wanted detail. So if you come in and you're just like, I just want to ride rides, I want them to take me to the front of the line and be done, that's up to you. You can do that. But for us, we wanted information. You know, we're local, we go all the time. We just wanted the behind the scenes experience, which was pretty cool. And then they took us over to Seuss Landing and gave us some information on how they carved the trees and how the trees look like something out of a Dr. Seuss book or film. It was really cool. They gave us a lot of information on the Zack bypass, how that was the first thing that was set in at Islands of Adventure. And then they built Seuss Landing from throughout that. So like, they planted it and then built around that structure, which I thought was really cool. You're not going to get that information anywhere else. Now on to one of the cooler things that happened to us, and that was Spider-Man. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, you know how much I love the Adventures of Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure. It is my favorite ride at the Universal Studios parks, just for the pure nostalgia of growing up with it. But anyway, we got to ride the ride, and afterwards, they took us backstage and showed us exactly how the ride operates, which is really cool. They gave us information that they used to run on the DAW system back in 1999 and how exactly the vehicle works and moves. We got to see the vehicle set on time with the video that was, you know, in the next room. But we got to see how it shakes, how it spins, and I will say that it's a lot faster than you would expect it to be. I mean, it just really goes when it starts spinning you. You would think by looking at it that you're going to be sick by doing it, but it was just really cool to see how they've done. And what was really cool about that is that they took the time to bring us up to date on everything that was used in that ride, how it was done. Information like $1.2 million for each ride vehicle that you see. So if you don't know what a ride vehicle is, a ride vehicle is the actual vehicle that you sit in during the ride. And they have 14 of those, I believe. So 1.2 million times 14, do the math. The ride ended up costing Universal over $100 million, which I thought was just crazy. And that was in 1999. Also, another thing that I asked them if the CGI had been updated since this ride was so old, from 99. And yes, it was updated in 2012, which, you know, it looks great. So those questions that I had for years and that I couldn't find on Google, they were able to answer for me instantaneously. And it was just an amazing, amazing experience. How the ride vehicle works, how everything goes into play. I could sit here and talk for hours about that. What was really cool about that experience is 2 of our tour guides came up to me and said, "We did that just for you." And I thought that was awesome because I was talking with them the whole time about how I grew up as a Universal kid and how much I love Universal. And they came up to me and said, "We did that just for you." And that just made my day. Well, so I thought it was, until they took us backstage, once again, what they called the front lot, and they took us into the production building. And let me tell you, I was just ecstatic and just amazed. Now, we could not film back here, and all these things that I'm telling you, we could not film, so that's why there's no footage of it. They did say that we could take pictures. I refrained from that because it was just pictures that we could take pictures of. Because when you walk down the hallway, there's like a long hallway, and they have pictures of each film that was filmed there. There was like a Creed music video that was filmed there. TNA wrestling was filmed there, of course. AEW wrestling was in the middle of production, and Sharknado 3 was filmed there too. So it was just like all these different elements. And then, also there was a NSYNC promo for a tour that they were doing that was filmed there, which I thought that was cool too. And they took us down the hallway, and there was a conference room on our right that we could see, and it was pretty cool, just to see where they make some big decisions about things. And they showed us or told us about a theater that was in there for people who are working on productions, because this still is used as a backlot. Like, it may not have huge productions that come through, but they're still big enough to where, you know, they sit on a backlot and directors and filmmakers can come in and watch their dailies back in a theater there, which I thought was really cool. One of the really cool things, though, that we did get to see was the makeup room where the Grinch puts on his makeup, and I'm assuming it's the same place that Jack the Clown puts on his makeup as well. They showed us that makeup room, which I just got all excited for, because I love the Grinch, I love Jack the Clown, I love all that. In some areas where the HHN scare actors may get ready, they showed us all that, which was really cool. And then they brought us out into the middle of huge sound stages. Many of those you guys have seen in our HHN videos, because they were the entrances to some of the houses, like Dead Man's Pier, Hell Block, and I'm blanking, Spirits of the Coven. That one as well, which was really cool. And then they told us a story about how a couple of years ago, The Exorcist was at HHN, that there was a house at Halloween Horror Nights for The Exorcist. And they said what they had done is they recorded actual sounds of people vomiting and tried to make a vomit smell. Threw it throughout the soundstage, and now the soundstage smells like vomit all the time, which is crazy. So they've tried to get it out for a few years, but they still haven't been able to get it out. It's just kind of crazy, you know, how that's done. And then they just kind of explained to us how the sound stages work, that I can be standing on this side of the sound stage, and you can be over there, and I can have a conversation, and you're not going to know what conversation we're having on the other side of the sound stage. Which, cool fact, me as a movie guy, I love movies, I used to make films. I appreciate every bit of this. Also, if you notice in our video for Mardi Gras, there was not a medallion up on the archway going into Universal. Well, this is because it was sitting backstage in between the sound stages. We walked by this thing. I couldn't take pictures. We walked by it, and I promise you it was 20, 30 feet high. It was really, really high, like way above us. It was huge. So it was kind of cool to see that medallion sitting in the back. And people were posting, you know, pictures online the next day, like, oh, they put it up. I'm like, yeah, I knew it was coming because I saw it sitting backstage. So it was cool to see all that. And then before we broke off the tour, we had a chance to go on to Jimmy Fallon. Now, we didn't ride the ride. They said just to bypass time and to get us to lunch. They wanted us to go in there and they wanted us to show everything that was going on with that ride. So where they did take us, they took us upstairs into a executive's overlook where the executives come in and just kind of watch the parades, watch the shows, watch how daily operations are going, and you would never know they're there. So if you're down on the lower level, if you look up and you see hashtag, that is where they're saying hello to you. If you're down on the lower level and you see hashtag up above looking out a window, that's where they're saying up there. And then they took us around the corner and they showed us some things in there. And then they showed us the control room of how Jimmy Fallon works, which is really cool. It looks like a space center in there. It's really awesome. No pictures, of course, of that. But then what they did let us take pictures of was when they took us out on the balcony overlooking Production Central, which is going to be changed to the Minions Way or something like that soon. They did allow us to take video and pictures up there and to show the park. And we took some selfies, some group photos, all that kind of stuff there, which I thought was really cool. And that was another huge highlight for me to see all that. Because I've seen people up there, you know, walking by. I'm like, how the heck do they get up there? Well, now I know it's a VIP tour, or if you're someone of importance at Universal, that's what it is. So, really great experience overall. Just a lot of fun. No complaints at all. The only thing I would say is that if you are coming on vacation, I don't know if you'd want to do VIP. I mean, you can ride the rides as many times as you want to. You have someone guiding you and taking you to the front of the line, which is awesome. That in itself is probably worth the money if you can do that for like one day. But overall, I thought it was a great experience. I had so much fun. Angie had fun. And it was just something that we kept looking at each other like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And there's so much more that I would go into, but this has already gone on for far too long. And you know, like maybe one day we'll sit down on the live stream and talk about it a little bit more, but there's just so much to talk about. There's so much. And if you guys love theme parks as much as I do, you would be nerding and geeking out as well, especially when it has to do with film-related stuff. It's just amazing. The one thing, though, I wish that we would have gotten to do is walk through some of the Harry Potter stuff in, like, the backstage of, like, Forbidden Journey and stuff like that. We didn't get to do that. And, you know, we were just limited on time. You know, we were more of just taking in information and talking about stuff like that. Which is cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of the facts that were in the video and some of the stuff that we talked about here. Anyway, we want to give a huge shout out to Universal for inviting us out and taking care of us that day. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button and the notification bell so you know when our next video is coming out. And remember, the road goes ever on. I'll see you next time.